Hello everyone, my name is Violeta Xinji Manalu, and now uh, I will explain about the journal analyzing the speaking and writing competence of an Indonesian students in the USA, a case study. The first is introduction. Not long after the proclamation of freedom in Indonesia, English was used as the first foreign language in the country instead of Dutch, the language of people of Netherlands who ruled Indonesia for country. The reason was because Dutch was the language of colonialists and it did not have an international status as English. Give this fact, English has been taught at schools, becoming one of the compulsory subjects and treated similarly with Indonesian language or Bahasa Indonesia in the school curriculums. However, English in Indonesia is still viewed as as a difficult language to learn due to the different structure and grammar from Bahasa Indonesia. The way it is spoken and writing has become the primary problem of Indonesian student in learning English. Furthermore, the diversity of dialect and cultural background of people across Indonesia also make it difficult to learn. Since Bahasa Indonesia is also used as the national language, there is no reason for the people to learn the language. Next is the theory of the communicative competence or CC. The theory of communicative competence was coined by Del Hamis in the 1960s and emphasized and grammatical rules are not enough to produce the speaking and other language skill which enable communication. Purpose that linguistic competence, strategic competence, social-linguistic competence, action competence, and discourse competence were parts of CC. Nevertheless, in 2008, she revised and proposed parts of the CC into social control, cultural, discourse, linguistic, formulate, interactional, and strategic competence. Social cultural competence is related to the social and cultural context of communication. Discourse competence is about how to select and sequence and arrange word structure and uh, utterance in order to integrate a spoke message. Linguistic competence refers to four types of knowledge. The first is phonological or sound. Next is lexical or vocabulary. Next is morphological or part of speech. And the last is syntactic or word order to sentence structure. Formulate competence defines the chunk of language the speaker frequently use in everyday interaction. Interactional competence means how to perform common speech edge in the target language in conversation and interaction, and strategy competition encompasses techniques for dealing with difficulties and limitation in using English, such as gesture and memorization. This is the method of the journal setting and participant. The participant of this study was uh, 33 years old, research working in the one of government in, institute tuition in Indonesia and was studying in a university in the United States. He used bahasa Indonesia both at home and work, but spoke English during his study in the U.S. He began studying English when he was in junior high school, and he spent much of time in Indonesia. The outdoor choose his participants because the first is his mother tongue was not English. Second is major was not English. Third is he began studying English from the beginner level. Next, he was studying abroad, and the last is due his job. He worked journals and joined conference. Previously, the participant had take TOEFL, um, I, IBT when he applied for university entrance and achieved 82. It means that he was considered to be advanced level. The reason why he was still studying English was that as a research, he must read and write English journal. So the next is data collection and analysis. To collect the data about the participant's ability in speaking and writing, he was given spoke and writing text in IELTS like test format. Believe that the speaking IELTS test is suitable for test takers. Based the format of the question in the speaking test, it can be concluded that the test ranges for easy to difficult in the writing text, and the participant was asked to write two models of the IELTS, like writing tests, academic and general training. Since the participant in the research, the academic writing in intended to investigate his ability in formulating language to scientific and academic area, while the general training writing was the intended to investigate his ability in writing in a social context. Okay, this is about the finding and discussion. The first is speaking text evaluation, social cultural competence, discourse competence, linguistic competence, formalistic competence, interactional competence, strategic competence, writing text evaluation, social cultural competence, discourse competence, forensic competence, linguistic competence, interactional competence, and the last is strategy competence. And the last is conclusion. The study focus focus focuses on the analysis of the communicative competence of an Indonesian student who is studying in one of the university in the USA. The main focus was in the speaking and writing competence. The competence were evaluated by the theory of communicative competence, which consists of sociocultural competence, discourse competence, formulaic competence, language competence, interactional competence, and strategy competence. The theory of CC is assumes to be integrated with knowledge, skill, and human action. Through data analysis, it can be concluded that the participant demonstrated well in the CC is both in speaking and writing. Despite some limitation found in his work, especially regarding grammar, which is related to linguistic competence. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for your watching and attention, and bye.